we could go back to talking about that space again. There's a few nitpicks that I found interesting. Today's midweek. Still not sure if I'm still going. Still not sure if I have to go in person or if we're still on Zoom, because we didn't have last week. Thank goodness. But we'll see what happens tonight. I'll be extremely disappointed either way if I have to go. Still be upset. We'll see what happens. Regardless. Found a few interesting timelines that I have having to reoccur within my own brain. Just having to sit with it. I was in a good mood from Sunday, so I didn't really want to just kill the vibe. I just wanted to still be in good spirits. Still grateful, by the way. Just now I have to dabble in this a little bit because I didn't want to just let it slip. Here's a few things I found really interesting. So, on Sunday when we went to church, of course, I was talking to a few of the guys, right? Listen, I have barely spoken to anybody aside from these few guys. Saying what's up to a few other guys every now and then. And then, I didn't even stay after the service. I just left immediately after I talked to my parents. I left immediately. I had no reason. Why would I stay after? I'd want out. I want immediate out. So why would I stay? Why would I stay in a place that makes me actively uncomfortable and restricts me? Something interesting. So I was having a conversation with one of the guys, right, within my region. You know, the guy that I usually typically respect. Usually, we're cool with. It's not too much of a person that constantly pushes me to do things. But in this context, it almost feels as if there's something interesting that's starting to pop up within his vibe and energy. Because he told me again about, prayer call, we have a different setting and different adjustment. And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, have you been going to New Jersey? Have you been staying there for the majority of the week? I'm like, yeah, for the most part. I've been having to go back and forth to New Jersey because I've been having things going on in my life. And then I told him, I made up an excuse, by the way. I just made up something. And it's not like it's going to 100% affect me, but it's really also not smart in general for me to constantly look down at my phone, but also looking up while I'm walking in the morning, dropping my brother off. I have to focus on my brother for the most part. Just period. I can't really focus on my phone like that because it's not that it's not super safe or like avoiding or paranoid. It's just you never know what's gonna happen. So I don't want to guarantee that everything's gonna be okay, but all I'm focusing on, what if my brother, something happens to him, but I'm in a freaking prayer call? You see the problem? This is why I don't like prayer calls at the same time, is because you're forcing yourself to focus on something that's genuinely not going to help you move forward in life, and it's not valuable, but you have to make it valuable somehow. But when I'm outside with another person, especially with my little brother, I can't be focusing on these people, bro. I have to focus on getting my brother safely to school, because you never know what's going to happen. So I have been 1000% focusing on him getting to school. If I drop him off, if I have to wake up early and drop him off. So I've been doing that. I've been leaving my phone at home, or if I take it, then I just can't use it until I drop him off. I can't look at it till I drop them off. I give myself that luxury, that boundary, because I have to watch him, bro. I'm the adult. I have to look out for these people. These are the people in my space in real life. I can't just actively ignore them. And even if other people can't do that, they could use their phone and look up and look down and focus on the prayer. I don't have the luxury to do that. I don't, unfortunately. And of course you can multitask, but again, this is why I was explaining. It wasn't all this in depth, but I'm explaining to him. Just because I can doesn't mean I need to. Like, I have to focus on getting my brother to school. Kind of a made up thing, made up excuse, quote unquote, but it's valid. There is some validity, you know? And then at the same time, why are these people so adamant on pressuring me to do something that I really don't want to do and I'm set on not doing? It's almost as if they don't get the hint. I gave you another positive excuse, and then you just continue to run it down like you didn't understand the first time. Do you not understand the first time I told you that I'm not going back? Get the hint already. I haven't been going to prayer calls since last month. Get the hint already. I'm not going back. Get the hint. Understand that. And stop calling me. Please join, please join. No, I'm not joining. Get the hint already. Do I have to continue to over-explain myself just for these people to just be like, it's gonna be nonsense. That's why I don't talk back. I don't respond back because it's a trap. Do you understand? It's a trap. Sometimes some of these people are too fixated on just getting some type of repertoire that's only catered to them. How about you allow me to exist within my own life and let me live my life? Okay? It's not that I want to prioritize myself and do whatever I want. I'm prioritizing myself and understanding that there's so much more life to explore and adventure other than your freaking little restricted box. You want to know another thing too? I'm like, it's been a while. Another guy, it's been a while. I haven't seen you. I'm like, yeah, I mean, I've been in and out of New Jersey and this, that, and that. Man, pray. All right. When I was in the little huddle, you know I wasn't closing my eyes and praying with them, right? I was just looking down at the floor, and I was just not really closing my eyes like that. I don't really pray like that anymore, unless I seriously need to do it. Unless I'm seriously, actively choosing to utilize that time for silence. If I utilize silence with prayer, that's when I do it. But it's not necessary. Because I'm just utilizing that. Praying is just basically utilizing a moment of silence. But most people don't really do that. They just use it as a hollow space just for them to talk it. Just for them to be like, we're giving it all to you, Lord. This, that, and the third. It's very hollow. It's not because of what they're talking about. It's because they're using it as a coping mechanism to avoid their silence. Their silence is screaming at them very loud, yet they want to talk over it. I can see right through it, bro. That's something very interesting that I saw. And I remember one of the huddles in the past month, I don't know if I brought this up, but I'm going to bring it up again regardless. I remember one of the huddles. It was a very crowded huddle. And I ranted about this too. I brought it up in one of the rants I brought up when I was just, oh my gosh, I was so in the zone. And I was just going in. I'm like, Shane, why are you half-assing your way in and out? And you're not fully in the circle because the space is crowded. get the hint. So I remember this really goes back and reverts back to that story. I'm recalling it. So there was a huddle that usually happens before service actually starts, where you go over the announcements, you go over the songs, go over anything that needs to be cleared up with the baptisms and stuff. And the space was really crowded. It was really crowded. The whole circle was really crowded. And I couldn't really insert myself into the circle. So I just having to just stay back. I have to just be behind another person because it was crowded. What was I supposed to do? Am I supposed to just force myself into a circle that's freaking cluttered? But we'll finish off with that. So I was in a cluttered space. I was just in the back, and I couldn't really do much. So I was just standing there. And yeah, what I'm supposed to be doing, just standing there, right? Because we're listening to other people, right? Oh, and then I get a little rebuke. And it's not, and they framed it as, oh, it's just a regular, typical conversation, right? Well, remember, one of the leaders that I was talking about that says Catholicism is the fake Christianity, that guy came up to me and talked to me and rebuked me a little bit, talking about, why were you not in the circle? Well, I tried getting the circle, but I couldn't get in. It was crowded. Like, yeah, this says a lot about your heart. You know that, right? You know, I'm just paraphrasing. But again, that is literally the entire conversation. I am not just making things up just to make things up. This is legitimately the conversation. And there was another person that was a part of our region space anyways, disciple. He was there too. So he was also hearing these things out. Yeah, you're half-hearted. So you're in the space and you're out the space. You're not fully for God. You see, the problem is sometimes some of these people just want to are in and out with God and his kingdom, his servant. You need to be fully in. You need to be doing this, that, and the third with God. You can't be half-hearted. You have to be sacrificial. You have to give your all to God. And then another extra pieces of filler within that whole I'm being half-hearted. And I was just listening. I'm like, yeah. This, that, and the third. I was kind of I was just agreeing so I don't get freaking. I don't make this a scene because it's, again, 9 in the morning. Why would I make a scene? Why would I make nonsense up? Or not even make nonsense up. More like, let me get you straight. Let me get you to understand that this space was crowded. What in the fucking hell do you want me to do? Do you want me to just force myself into the space? You want me to push people over and just... What do you really want me to do? Because it's like, either way, I was not going to be able to be seen, or I'm not going to be able to be comfortable cluttering myself within other people. I hate crowded spaces. That's one of my pet peeves. I hate crowded spaces. But some people, they really are so caring. They really care and considerate of other people. They're not. So that conversation within just popped back up randomly. And it's not even shocking it popped me up when we were all praying in that circle, in that huddle. Because I wasn't praying with them. I was focused on that conversation. Because that literally just gave me the reminder. I'm like, wow, I really appreciate you for judging and criticizing me for being a human being. Not even just off that conversation. Not even just the fact that he just tried to rebuke it. I can understand I have mishaps. It's not like I'm immune to criticism. However, you are misdirecting and you are misunderstanding me on purpose. You're doing it on purpose. You don't want me to be my own person. You don't want me to be my own disciple. You don't want me to be a part of this space. You want me out, in a way. Because you're talking about half-heartedness, yet there was also other people that were outside the circle just like me. But I get the rebuke. I can understand you are a part of the same region I'm in. But again, this is the problem. These people genuinely target you when you are your own person, when you understand your self-worth. It's not a coincidence. There's just certain times where I'm genuinely not even exaggerating these types of stories. Like, this is serious life experiences, bro. I'm fully in it. I'm fully exacerbated in it. I'm fully submissive. I've been submitting myself to other people in their own lives my entire life. These people can't tell me anything about me not being sacrificial for others. You want to talk about Jesus sacrificing his entire life for us? I want to bring myself at the center core. And I'm not just comparing myself with Jesus, because we're not talking about me getting beaten up physically. We're talking about you guys minimizing my entire experience. You guys minimize my entire character. You guys misrepresent me. You guys misjudge me, misunderstand me, all on purpose. Just so that you guys can get your stereotypes, your agendas, and your propaganda off. And who do you do it to? Me. Because I'm somebody that keeps to myself a lot. I'm somebody that minds their own business a lot. I'm not always talkative. So the easiest guy to just project all the propaganda and nonsense is to me. You guys are afraid of me. You guys are intimidated by me. You are. Because how else do you explain, or how else do I explain to another person, why is this happening? Why are these people so suspect with me sometimes? Like, they maneuver in a certain way, and they just tell me certain things that I know I won't just sit there and just take it for what it is. They'll just think that I just take it, and I just take it for what it is. I'm just compliant and obedience. Like, I can do that, but I'm also taking that, and I'm also using it as a reason to why you ain't shit. Because at the end of the day, I'm not here to pick arguments with any of you. I'm here to just come and go at this point. Right now, I'm just trying to get out. My goal is to not be here long term. My goal is to be up out of here before the end of the summer. That's ultimately my goal now. It might not be achieved right away. It might not be achieved to the vision that I am implementing. However, my goal is set. You guys are focused on propaganda. I'm focused on trying to get up out of here. Because at this point, you guys keep giving me little reasons each and every day that I have gone to the church service, every day I've gone to midweek, and you guys just remind me why I don't need to be here anymore. I have outgrown all of you. I don't need a revenge story. I don't need anything like that. I just need you guys to know everybody has different lives, bro. Everybody has different perspectives. Everybody has different ways of navigating through their faith. Or people question their faith all the time. Why can't you admit that? Why can't you admit that you even question your own faith? Why is it so hard? Why is it so hard for me to even get out the house and be with friends? Why is it so hard for me? Why do I always contemplate? Dude, I even have to be in my own house having to worry about other people in the house just randomly worrying about me because I want to go out with some friends, or I want to go out and just have a little fun. I get scared and I get mad nervous And that's a problem. That's a sign of some serious psychosis. I'll continue that later on. Hold on. It's just so interesting. Everything just starts reverting back to some of these conversations, to some of these little moments, key moments. And they become more key for me. I don't just forget. I remember a good chunk of these moments and situations. It just takes time for me to process. Sometimes I have delayed processing. Sometimes I can process it right away. I can read through you. This leader wants to talk about he can read hearts and stuff. If I'm not for Christ, well, I can read through you, and I can read beyond past your love for Christ. I could even read beyond you and even beyond what you're trying to. You're so predictable as well. Most of these people are just so not even just predictable. These guys are not even practical. And even if you think you can read hearts, it doesn't take just one conversation for you to notice that. It takes multiple. It doesn't just take one instance. It takes multiple. You don't just read people off one instance, because by that point you would just be friendless. You just not have any friends. It takes multiple conversations. It takes multiple digestions of that other person. I don't want you guys to just stop being weird, okay? Just stop being strange in terms of how you guys carry out the vibe. Most of you guys are just strange. I feel it. I can hypersensitivize it. Even if it's not a word, I still will make it a word. I can hypersensitivize that. Can you? Can you sense some issues? Can you sense your own awareness? I don't think so. Because if you were, you wouldn't be here. Or if you were, you'd call it out. But guess what? If it's not going to be me, who else is going to be? This piece is just going to keep going and just keep getting away with nonsense. It's just what it is. It's not about just looking for something egregious to pick them on. Pick them on about. It's not just about that. It's about reading their character, reading their sets of energy. Their energy is not that high. Especially for God, it's not that high. It's corporate. This feels corporate. I know you guys like to fake your happiness. I know you guys like to fake your smile. You guys like to fake the way you maneuver this entire space. But I can feel it. Okay? And I don't just feel it because I want to. I feel it because I actually sense how I feel after I leave. How I feel after I leave talking to certain people. I don't just feel just to feel. You know? There's a purpose behind it. Another one of these conversations when we were talking about communion. Oh, secular music. Oh, with obscene language, this, that, and the third. Because then it revolts back to me talking about how my parents, maybe aside from my dad, genuinely care too much about what music I listen to. Like, there was a point last year where they wanted me to completely sacrifice the music I listen to so I can listen to more Christian music. So I can listen to more better music, quote unquote. That's because it has certain profanity or use certain terms. It doesn't automatically make the song bad or unbearable. It takes a lot for it to be unbearable. And you guys are not true music enjoyers anyways. Because if you think one side of the genre or one side of music is the only good piece of music, then you're just completely losing the plot. You're missing the point. Music is supposed to be flawed. You know that, right? You know music is not supposed to be perfect and not supposed to be always 1000% perfection within the production, within the lyrics, within just the overall atmosphere. You know sometimes the music is supposed to make you uncomfortable. Nah, but I'm supposed to only listen to Christian music. I'm only supposed to listen to music with no bad words. It's not supposed to be promoting violence. Just because Nas is rapping about the streets he grew up in, it doesn't mean he's promoting it, bro. Just because Jay-Z is talking about him being a gambler and him being a drug dealer, it doesn't mean he's automatically promoting it. He's just talking about his life experience. You know, people have different life experiences. People have different growing up, transforming stories. But now you want to deflect them and depict them and nitpick them little by little because it has certain words and use certain intense terms, especially intense terms that you can't really use like that because you're a part of a religion that brainwashes you and scams you out of your own sense of life. We're not going to even talk about purity. Purity is for a completely different video. They completely manufactured and fabricated purity. They did. And it's not because it exists, but because they manufacture it as just only a main issue, and it's a freaking problem only for that person. And it's not the things within their experience that they grew up with doesn't give them that problem. Or it's not just a part of life sometimes. But that's for another video. Again, that's going to be a very taboo, intense video for me to talk about, because even then, there's just certain topics that even it takes me a while for me to sit with, because I have a hard time just being able to digest certain thoughts, because I don't want to face them either. Do you think I want to face some of these thoughts? Do you think that I want to just face all these truths just because? Sometimes it's not good. Sometimes it's not pretty. But then again, my whole purpose, my whole bigger than thou sense of energy is so that each and every one of us can just accept ourselves for who we are and stop shaming ourselves just because other people told us to. There's certain things that you can't do. There's certain moral codes that you need to be careful with dabbling with or testing. Again, there's just certain times where you just need to just stop talking and just stop assuming things. Just shut it. You don't need to always talk. You don't need to always have a definitive answer for everything. Just be quiet. My goodness, is it that hard for you? So again, that purity video will come out at some point. Whether it's next video, who knows when it comes out. But it's definitely coming out. I just need to take more time to sit with it and to dabble with it. So, there's that gist. It is very interesting, even within communion. I just keep finding things that keep sparking me to continue to talk nonsense about them and just trash them. Not even just because I want to trash them, but because everything they're talking about, it's part of the human experience, but you're constantly judging, but you're falling for the same temptations too. So what is even the point of continuing to go back and forth with this sin nonsense? With this, oh, I'm not a good enough person for God. This, that, and there's a reason for that. And it's because this entire religion brainwashes and scams you to think that you are not worthy. And you should probably die. Bro, he even regrets making the human race. You can interpret it in different ways. But in a general sense, if you take this within and without context, it says straight up that he regrets making the human race. Because it ultimately exposes that he is also flawed. God is also extremely flawed. Jesus showed sign of flaw, but at least he's able to actually progress within some of his journey. He might still be flawed, but it doesn't mean that his entire journey, his entire persona is all flaws. No saving grace. You see where we're getting at? This is deep, man. I'm not just depicting these things. I'm not just saying with these things. I'm not just having these type of conversations and these type of thoughts just because I want to. I have these thoughts and these type of conversations because these are the conversations that are the most important to me. They bring the most value. just dig deep into why we go through these things. Why do we believe in these certain things? Even if it's not true, even if we can't genuinely see it, why do we still continue to allow it to happen? But life is so good because of that. It's beautiful because of that. You get to find new ways to figure things out. You get to find new stuff to dig deep for. There's a lot more life to explore than the restricted areas that I've constantly been ballooned into. There's more to life than this space. There's more to this life than even my own perceptions. There's a lot to explore. It doesn't diminish my experience. It just completely gives it a valid reason for me to just stop giving them more grace. There's just a stopping point. Can't wait to continue to talk more about this, especially on the purity part. Because that's going to be intense. That's going to be crazy.